feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it takes a swim.
Hey everyone, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank podcast. I'm your host, Rich Jensen, along with my co-host, David Sims, and our special guest today, Ken Clark of Chenal Family Therapy. Each week on the post-show wrap-up, we like to bring you the highlights of our conversations during the show. If you missed the show, you can go to arkansas.shrimptankpodcast.com, catch the entire podcast. You won't want to miss it. A lot of good laughs, a lot of good information. And as always, I think this is the third time we've had Ken back, so we only have people back if they're really, really got a lot of good information. Or, you know, they grease our palms a little bit. Ken, thank you so much.
Yeah. check your PayPal. Actually, it's like we said on the podcast. It's because it's our regular quarterly checkup for mental health. Right? You know, I mean, Ken's a mental health expert, and but the topic, actually, what we had him on is that we were talking, and we had the topic was the death of why. And we thought that would be something to do a special show around. So explain to our viewers what you mean by the death of why.
Well, the death of why is a decision that we make as individuals to stop trying to analyze why people do what they do, especially towards the pessimistic and negative end. And the reality is people are painfully different than us. They make decisions that reflect those differences, and it doesn't actually mean anything about whether or not we're valued or loved or partnered with. And when we can dispense with that why, then there's a ton of emotional waste that doesn't occur. We become more productive. We become more freed up. We stop analyzing and attacking other people so much.
And their motives.
And their motives. And the quality of life and the quality of our business goes through the roof.
And you talked a lot about how valuable that is for business leaders, entrepreneurs to get that and develop their culture, and a lot more on that on the podcast. That was excellent.
Yeah.
And you just used a phrase in talking about the death of why, painfully different. And that applies in marriage. It applies in business. Expand on that a little more for our listeners.
Rich could really relate to that.
Right?
With me.
I think your spouses are calling in again.
That's right. That's right. The phone's been blowing up with our wives.
It's not a call-in show, but they're calling.
So the idea is we measure the difference between what we expect from people and the way that they were trained to operate in the world, whether it's in a marriage or in a business. We measure that difference as proof of something, right? That because you won't do what I want you to do, that proves whether or not you care. And the reality is people are just painfully different. Those things don't move. And the sooner we can come to terms with the fact that somebody's upbringing, their training, their schooling, their own experience in business or life leads them to hold on to their values, not because they don't care about us, but just because that's how they best understand and interact with the world.
But don't we attribute those differences to, one, if they really loved me like our spouse, they would change, as if they have to change their whole personality for us. Or two, you just really must not care about this situation because you wouldn't do that.
That's exactly
Why in the world would you do that?
Right. And one of the crazy things about it is I was listening to you and thinking about it, how much of it I do at an unconscious, subconscious level.
We get in our own heads and talk to ourselves.
That's that why question, and it goes around in my head, you know,
and that's
where crazy.
And that's where this realization came from, right? Is everybody I talk to wrestles with this, and it seems like the truth over and over is we are loved far more or valued far more than we think, but less than we want to be. And that's the real goal in putting the death to the why, is that we would make peace with that happy medium.
Yeah.
Good point.
You also talked on the podcast, was really good, about the cognitive boxing ring and who is the reigning champ that's in there in our minds with this why question and how we got to deal with it. Share with our.
So the reigning champ is the belief that we have about how people feel about us, right? There's a great quote about be careful what you say to kids. It becomes their inner dialogue as adults, right?
Yeah.
And so this idea that I'm a failure or people reject me or whatever, it's the reigning champ in the mental boxing ring that exists.
Right.
If we don't put contenders, if we don't put alternative possibilities, positive alternative possibilities in that ring, then those beliefs go unchallenged. The only way to change the way we experience life is to begin to wrestle with new positive possibilities about why people do what they do. And when we put death to the why and just realize a positive possibility is that people are just painfully different, and it doesn't mean squat.
Right.
That's a new contender in that ring that can finally beat that reigning champ of people are against you, everybody's going to reject you, you're going to fail.
That's right. That's right.
It's almost like the old Indian proverb or something about the white dog and the dark dog or whatever.
Yeah.
Which one wins? Whichever one I feed.
Right, right. Yeah,
That's right, that's
absolutely
right.
right.
So sometimes we
so-
put the other dog on the shoulder in the first place.
we really want to encourage our viewers to get out there and get into that ring,
Right.
and change, beat that reigning champ, man.
Yeah,
You know,
learn to
feel a
consider
knockout.
positive possibilities
Yeah.
for people's behavior, even though their behavior is disappointing.
Yeah, that's
Right.
good, man. That's good.
Hey, Ken, we want to thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on the show again for the third time.
Right. Honored.
For folks who want to learn more about the death of why or
Mm-hmm.
overcoming their painful differences or anything else that on the mental health
Sure.
or especially mental health and running your business and keeping a good company culture, how could they best get a hold of you?
Yeah,
at Chenal
if
Family
you're
Therapy?
interested in consulting, we do it nationwide. Our web address is Chenal, Chenal, therapy.com, or you can reach out to me at 501-781-2230.
Great. Hey, next week we'll have another great guest on the Shrimp Tank. It'll be Dr. Amy Hester of HD Nursing. And she's kind of impacting healthcare nationwide
Yes,
through her
yeah.
startup right here in Little Rock. So you won't want to miss that. Remember, until next week, stay safe. And in the business world, to become a shark, we all start out as shrimp.